Hey guys, just a quick video. Yesterday by UPS, I got the new Clearview windshield that I ordered to replace the Freedom Shield, which was ordered to replace the very tall, dark screen that the prior owner had. So I've just put this all together. I already made a video about how to swap these out, so I didn't make another one, but I'm just showing you. This one's a little wider. This is one of the things they tout, that it comes out a little wider out here, and it's got a flared ridge. Now the Freedom Shield also has that. This is the short with light tint that I ordered from Clearview Shields, and just like Freedom Shields, they let you keep this wrapping on to try it out. For Freedom Shields lets you do it indefinitely, almost. It seems like there's no time limit. Clearview is 30 days, I believe. So I'm actually going to get suited up and go out on a quick ride to give this a test. I'm going to put it on the bike first, make sure I measured correctly and I can see over it pretty good. All right, we'll see how it goes. One more thing with this windshield, I ended up getting the option of this 5-position vent that a lot of people, when I read the reviews, said it really helped with the wind buffeting. And that if you had it closed, if that didn't work for you, if you let some of this air in, it would improve the airflow. So I decided to go for that option on that. Well, this is the initial view, and you can't tell it, I guess, but it looks like it's just about perfect for me. Now, you can't see through it very well right now because they've got the plastic covering. Theirs isn't as flat. It's full of bubbles and stuff. The Freedom Shield is a little better, but not by much. And I'm not sure you can actually test this vent very much because it's all blocked with plastic. But I like the height. It looks like their plaques is already coming off. Well, I guess I'll use this as documentation that I didn't pull that off. I mean, it's not very tight up here. In fact, it's not covered at all. So the wind is going to tear right through all of that pretty quickly, I bet. Anyhow, I'm going to get dressed and take this for a ride. Hey guys, Ramblin' Man here, doing a road test on the new windshield. Taking you along on my first ride. This is the Clearview Shield. It still has their protective tape on it so I can return it if I don't like it. So, you know, one thing I noticed is you're supposed to measure these windshields straight from your nose. That way you can look over it. And every time I've done the measurements, I've struggled with two things. One is whether I'm slouching or not. You know, when I wear my back, when I have the backrest on, I sit a little straighter. When it's not on, you know, my back curves a little bit. And, you know, that changes obviously the body position. And then the second thing is when I measure it, trying to make sure I don't slant down from my nose versus going straight out. And every time I get one of these shields and I sit on the bike, I start thinking, maybe I mismeasured. Maybe I could have gone another, a little higher. And the challenge for almost all of these shields is that they are in templates. And I usually want 1 more inch. And they tend to go up in 2 inches or maybe even 3. Now the Freedom Shield, I think, was 14 inches. This Clearview Shield was 14.5, so I figured, hey, okay. And they also have a wider screen, and they have a flare at the top. Now the other thing you'll notice is this vent in the front. Now, I don't even notice that vent. It's not bothering me. I had some concern about how it would look. I decided I was more concerned about function if I was going to use it. I'm going to test the vent, but it has the protective film on the other side, so I don't think we're going to be doing a lot of good. Now, I can tell in that test ride I just did, I wasn't paying attention, but the speed limit's 55 there, so I was up to at least that. I think it felt better. The real test is 60 and above, so I'm gonna ride this a little bit On the Freedom Shield, it was always fine at roughly 50 miles per hour and below. And as you got up to kind of somewhere in the range of 55 and 60 probably, you could start feeling a little buffeting on your head. And I didn't really feel that too much at all. You know, I think you're never going to eliminate all of the buffeting. Yeah, I'm gonna put this all the way down and see if I can see if that does anything. I didn't poke holes through the plastic right there. But honestly, I think if I went the next size up, I don't think I could see over it. I think it would be right in my line of sight. I'm also interested to see if maybe that vent, once I decide if I'm going to keep this one, you know, that Freedom Shield, man, it got hot behind the windshield. There was like no airflow. And what I noticed about this windshield was, one, the vent that was optional, and two, I think there's a little more space down here, maybe. I can see over this shield just fine. It being wider will be interesting because we have this is an air-cooled bike, and there's always a debate about what these different things do to interrupt that flow. And do you feel the heat on the engine? But obviously the bike comes with a windshield. This one's wider than the stock one. I think I'm gonna change my mind, not go to the church, but do a back road here. And get up to a little speed here. All right, I'm over 60. And that's definitely better than the Freedom Shield. Definitely better. Yeah, that's feeling it now. You know, I can feel, I don't expect to get rid of it all. So when I say this, it's not a criticism. I'm just acknowledging I can feel just some slight air pocket buffeting, if you want to call it that, at the very back of the helmet. But yeah, top to the back of the helmet. Let's see if I can shut this back up. Now that's a 5-position vent, and you can I've only had it in the closed and fully open. I haven't played around. As you guys have seen, this is the first ride. All right, that's like position 2. And I don't think there's much point in this right now because of that plastic. So, unfortunately, I didn't leave holes there. I tell you, so far to me, this is feeling pretty good. To the point that I'll probably end up taking the plastic off. Or I might stop and see if I can poke some holes in the vent and peel that part back. I might have to go back home to do a safe, proper job with that. I didn't bring the tools, or I don't have tools with me that'll. Maybe I could poke it with my finger, but they've got on the receipts, the emails, and other locations that if you partially remove the plastic, they charge you a restocking fee. If you remove it and try to reapply it, I think you can't return it. But I'm liking the height, and I'm liking the initial feeling I'm getting from it. I think this is feeling really good, because I could, on the Freedom Shield, not picking on it, it just was the ergonomics of that setup for me. At 60 and above, I could start to feel it. And I'm feeling really good. Oh, I guess it's just this little plastic piece they have on it to cover the vent. Yeah, so that is closed all the way. That's open all the way. closed, open all the way. Well, we know what closed was like. Let's see how that does. I can actually feel a little air going over the head, I think, with that. Now, as I thought, it's making the rest of that plastic come loose a little bit. See, I'm going to close this up all the way. Yeah, I think I'm going to like this. I'm going to have to play around with what position I like the most. To me, this feels really good as a setup. And of course, it's one of those things that a week or two into it is where I tend to find I miss stuff during the testing, but this to me is feeling pretty good. It's making a little noise right now because that plastic has come loose. Yeah, I'm liking this. You can see that wind has puffed out all the plastic, but I think I'm going to be taking that plastic off and keeping this thing. Now, I've said before, it's kind of hard to remember what version 1.0 was like, but I definitely remember on the Freedom Shield, and I could go back and watch the videos I made, that at 55 roughly and above, man, my head started bouncing. Alright guys, I think I'm going to go home and take this plastic off and then come back out into another ride. Part of me feels like I should go on the interstate before I take this plastic off, but I just feel like this is a pretty good test right here, going 75. Man, that felt good. I like the look of some of those dark windshields on bikes, but it's not practical for me, in my opinion, if you want to ride at night at all when it happens to be on. Not even just night, but late afternoon sometimes when you go into these patches of woods where the sun might be just hidden briefly. I want to see. I think that extra little half-inch combined with the curve they've designed. Now, Freedom has a curve as well, but you know, they have their version of however they do it. Plus, it's wider. I don't know which combination of those has the most effect, but overall, I'm really liking it based on the test so far. All right, so I'm gonna work my way home, and I may record when I come back out. We'll see how the test ride continues. But so far, so good. See you in a few.